So welcome. In this exercise, I'm going to go through another powerful function of Excel, which is the solver, and we are going to use a scenario to learn the potency and the power of using the solver. Okay? And this solver is one of the most powerful tools in Excel. It's also a logic tool in Excel used for calculating what if scenarios. All right. So at the end of this task, we'll be able to use the what if scenario manager. So solver can be used for multiple data evaluation on Excel. All right. We can use it to generate reports. We can use it for scenario management. We can also use it in the place of goal seek, and I'm going to tell you why. You can use it to print scenarios, and for solver, it can take more variables and as well constraints as compared to goal seek. Goal seek just have one input, one output. But for solver solution, you can have several variables whereby you can juggle with multiple values, all right, for combination of optimum or target result, all right. So you can use it to determine your most profitable mix of products, staff scheduling to minimize waste, allocate capital or working capital to its most profitable use, okay. But it also has its own limitation because you can specify up to but not more than 200 variables, okay. And you can say solver is the most powerful analytic tool in Excel, okay. We can use it to solve multiple mathematical equations and arrive at what we call our optimal or target values. So this is a very basic tool for optimization and equation solving, but it also has its own limitation. Range of values of problems that it can solve is limited, all right? Then complex problems may have more than one solution, right? Whereas solver will now provide the best given the range of values, okay? Then for us to be able to use solver effectively, understanding of the nature of problem that you're about to solve is important. So if you don't have a good knowledge of the product you're about to solve, then that will be a challenge. So next we have installation guide for solver. So how do you install solver? You go to your file tab under Excel options. You have add-ons. You click on that. Then you click on Excel add-ons. You click on Go. Once you click on Go, you're going to see this tab. Then you click on solver add-on and you click OK. And automatically you have solver on your um, tab. As for me, I have solver. And this is the question we want to quickly use solver to solve. That we are going to do very fast now. So permit me to move over to my Excel sheet. So let me make it bigger so that we can see clearly what I'm working on. So I'm going to start by reproducing the table we have before we now put in the solver. So I have staff scheduling, new branch. Okay. So here we have what we call the rota. We have the rest days. We have employee. Employee per rota. Then under my YouTube, I have Monday, Tuesday. Then you can come here as well, highlight both, go to the lower right corner, you can drag it down, and it will give you value. Okay, centralize. There's nothing here, so make it smaller and I make this bigger. So we have that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rest days, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So centralize. So employee parameter for now is 0. Right? We have 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. And have 1. Drag it down. So I'm just trying to calculate this. This is supposed to be 0 as well. 1, 0, 0. 1, 1, 0, 0. 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. And there we have it. So underneath here we have total days, right? And we now have this column for staff allocated. So we have staff allocated. Okay, so let me look at my table. What next? Okay, so at this point I have what we call staff needed, hmm, which is the project need. Staff needed per day. All right, so here we have 14. We need 14 staff on this rotation, then 14 staff here, then 16, 17, 20, 22. Okay, then on my B we have average pay per day. All right, then I want to keep it in naira. 30 wages due per week. For now, is 0. Okay, so we have fully set up our table. We have fully set up our table. Now we are going to solve using solver. Okay. So what we want to achieve, we want to achieve three things. The first thing we want to achieve is number of employees per rotation. Okay, that's the first one. Then staff allocated per day, that also we want to get. Then total bill per week. Okay, so we're going to use just one uh, iteration to get all this out. Okay, so how do we get that? If you go back to your manual, you say what we need to do. So you say we need to calculate the sum total, as I've said here, of C5 to C9 and ensure that what we have here from E11 to J11 does not go beyond what is needed here. Okay, so we've done the first task. If you go back to your book, you say we should build as we have built that. We should set C10 as the sum of C9. So we come to C10, set it as the sum of C5 to C9. I use my auto sum and I press enter. So we have that already. Let's give it its own unique color and centralize it. Then you should set C16 to the product of C10 and C15. So this is our C16, we say equals to, so you can say this cell times this, all right, to give you an answer, or you can come here and still say equals to product, all right, you tap, then you click this cell, comma, this cell, you still get the same answer, all right, so we've done that. Then 4, we are to calculate the number of staff working on each day. So how do we achieve that? So we said you need to multiply column C, this, by the staff on each rotation in column E, which indicates whether this rotation is working or not. Hence for Monday, this is Monday, and at this point, we are going to say C5 multiplied by this. Then in addition to this is C6 multiplied by E6, all right? Then we'll continue like that till when we get to the last rotation, which is this place. So let's get to work. So equals to C5 times E5 plus C6 times E6 plus C7 times E7 plus C8 times C9 plus C9 times E9. Then you say equals to. That we have done. So we are supposed to do the same thing for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll say employee per rotation times spread out for those working and not working on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you notice, the employee per rotation is constant. So I can come back to my first expression and I make C5, C6, C7, C8, C9 absolute, so that I can just drag along this line and it will give me the same equivalent for the other cells. So how do I make? I say function F4. This is now absolute, meaning that it's constant. No matter how I drag it, my C5 will be kept absolute and it will not change. I come to C6 and I say function F4. I come to C7, function F4. Come to C8, function F4. C9, function F4, and I press enter. So once that is done, I go to the lower right corner and I drag. It looks like nothing has changed, but if you come here and you click, you will see this has been multiplied by correspondence on Tuesday. This has been multiplied by the correspondence on Wednesday. The employment permutation has been multiplied by correspondence on Thursday, and the same thing for Friday and Saturday. So we are done with that. So once that is done, I can go to my data tab. All right. Under analysis, you will see my solver. So I click on solver. All right. So I'm going to populate this as you have in the picture over there. So my set target cell. So I come start set objective or set target cell. That's my C16, which is this. I want to set that, okay, to get a value, a maximum value, all right, by changing. Next, I have maximum and minimum. I'll click minimum. I want to get the minimum wages that I'm going to pay these people by changing what range of cells, employers per rotation. So I'll come here and I click on employer per rotation from Monday to Saturday. Be careful not to add the total to it. I go back, that's C5 to C9. All right. Then what constraints do I want? I want to add a constraint. And my first constraint will be that my number of staff for each day must be greater than or equals to 0. So it's asking me for cell reference. So I'll come here and click this. I'll say this is greater or equals to 0. I don't want a negative answer, and I say okay. So you see, I have that greater or equals to 0. Then the next constraint is anything I have in here should be E11, okay? Should be greater or equals to what I have here. I don't want to have anything short because the number of staff required per day as a minimum is this. So I'll say add, then I'll say constraint, come here, highlight this, everything, then go back. So that is E11 to J11 to be greater or equals to, and I come here and highlight this. Then I say okay. So there we have our two constraints. The first one is everything in here must be greater or equals to 0. I don't want a negative. And secondly, staff allocated per day must be greater or equals to staff needed per day. Once you have that, then you click on solve. Then you can see automatically that I now have staff per day. All right. And I have for each day, you can see for staff per rotation has changed to 9.5, 3, 7.5 to 4.5. Since I don't want I don't want this uh, decimal point. I want whole number. I can make everything here a whole number. But before that, Excel is asking me, do I want to keep solver value or restore back? I'll say keep solver value. Okay. So I'll come here and highlight. Then I go to my home and I reduce index. So there I have it. So I can click on this again and press enter. Okay. So we have whole number. So it's telling me that for each rotation, for rotation 1, you have 10 persons needed. Rotation 2 is 3, 8, 2, and 5. This is the minimum number of persons you can have. And as you can see over here, all these numbers are equals to or greater than staff needed. Okay? And now we have the minimum wage that you can pay them to be 795 for working for 30 days. So we've just used one function which is solver to get different solutions out. Okay, so at this point, let me just make my uh, let me make my work a little bit beautiful because we're done. Then add some borders. All right, and our work is ready. Yes, so there you have it. So that is how to use the solver, okay, to solve uh, complex equations on Excel.